So today is candle making day. I'm getting all of my supplies out so that I know what I'm working with. I have some scents that I'm going to blend. Not quite sure what I'm gonna blend with what yet, but I have scents like honeysuckle jasmine, honeydew melon, beach linen, cinnamon and vanilla, cactus flower jade, and this new fresh linen eliminator that I want to try. I've got my candle dyes. I've got a couple of candle dyes. These I just started with when I made my last batch, the liquid. I am going to try those again today. I have my cotton wicks. I buy a huge box of soy wax, so I like to use this bag to take some out so that I don't have to worry about carrying around a box that's too heavy. I like to use these measuring cups that I got from the dollar store. They're only $1. I get to use them to pour my wax in and then wipe them out with some alcohol and reuse them until they get really bad. Then I have my little supply tin with my wick cutter if I wanted to put a natural enhancer in my candles, my spoon, all the things that I'm going to need. My little cup to measure my fragrance oil, and then of course I have my scale. Now these little funnels, I use these sometimes when I want to pour the wax into the jar and I'm not quite comfortable with the size of the jar and not wanting to make a mistake. Not sure I'm going to use them today, but I have it out just in case. I also have something new that I'm going to be trying. I read that if you put your candles on a metal rack to cool, it will help to prevent the spotting and the wet look and all of that. So I got these from the dollar store and I'm gonna try them out. They're not very high, but at least they raise them up a little, and it is metal. So I'll let you guys know if it works. I'm loving the dollar store. A lot of things that you need business-wise, you can get right there at the dollar store. Another suggestion I have for you is I put plastic down on my floor, especially where I'm going to be doing the candles, because I want to make sure that I protect my floor. You see I have paper on my counter. I'm pretty much set with my work area. Yes, soy wax is probably the easiest thing to get up. However, it does require some scraping. It does get hard, and it may leave a little mildew until you've really wiped it up with alcohol. That works for me. So to prevent that, I just go ahead and put this plastic down on my floor. And again, this is another dollar store buy for me. I can get a roll for $1.25, and it will last me a couple of candle making sessions. Hey guys, I also want to tell you another thing I do. I keep alcohol and paper towels near. Why? Because I find if I need to wipe off the excess candle wax from the jar or anything like that, it helps to have the alcohol near to do so. So I'm getting ready to make my candles. So I've poured my soy wax in my wax melter, and now I am putting in my cotton wicks, making sure that they're centered and that they stay attached to the jar. There's nothing that bothers me more than creating a candle and the wick is not centered, or pouring the soy wax in and the wick hadn't adhered to the jar and subsequently it comes up. Now I'm just stirring my wax to make sure that it's melted, and I'm just getting my supplies together so that I can start pouring the wax to make my candles. So I've gone ahead and I've measured out my fragrance. I'm going to use blended fragrance, trying 2 different scents together. And I am pouring the wax out. Gonna mix up the wax with the fragrance, making sure that I add the fragrance when it's at, I believe, 186 Fahrenheit. Now I'm going to pour my candles. Surprisingly, I was a mess today. And I mean, I was pouring wax everywhere. That's one reason why I like to make sure that I put things down. But I got my wax all poured out for my scents, and I'm going to wait for these to set before I add my additional colors to it. So the first color I'm going to make is the yellow for the honeysuckle and beach linen. Not quite sure how dark this yellow is going to be, but I am going to try a little and see if it's dark enough for me. I mean, it looks like it's pretty bright. And this is what I'm gonna use to make the honeysuckle and beach linen candles with a little yellow tint and then with a little pink tint, I believe. Now, one of the things that I am trying is I have this old dropper, and I am going to try to use the dropper to add the color to my, one of the things that I have come to realize with candle making is that it is a trial and error. So I want to get this yellow down in my wax. So, and this is the first time I'm using the dropper to do it. So this one may be a little hard. So I've got to try another one till I figure out what I want to do with that candle. This one is not as solidified. So let's see if it works. Well, trial and error, I do not like the dropper. So I am going to try pouring it to see how that works. What I want is for the yellow to penetrate the candle a little more. Now, thinking these are not necessarily what I was looking for. And the penetrating the candle, but since they've solidified more than I wanted them to, I'm going to, oops, almost coat the top with the yellow to accent them. And try again with what I'm trying to do with the dropper. Like I said, if you want to clean them so that you can use them again, all you need to do is spray it with some alcohol and wipe it out. It wipes away the scent, the color, and the previous candle wax. Voila, I can now use this again. So now let's try another one. I am going to do the honey cactus and jade. I'm gonna add some wax. And let that cool for a while and figure out what color I'd like to use. Be right back. When I think about jade, I think about green. I have added this green color and I'm gonna try again. Here we go. So let's see how this one works. Okay, it's kind of getting there. I wanted to get the side. Again, like I said, I think what I'm gonna probably have to do is not solidify it so much. So my tie-dye candles came out the way I wanted them to. I wanted to have the wax, the different color wax, just kind of form on the candle jar. So I'm waiting for them to set. This is an example of what they look like. Took a minute, but they came out the way I wanted them to.